these big and disturbing topics at Faraja TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Yo, welcome guys to the biggest and most exciting show in the 254, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
Kwa majina ni John Mragori, ninaokuletea program ya uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu, na programu yetu ya kujia mnamo siku ya kila Jumapili saa 1:30 katika runinga yetu ya Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha. Karibu sana, karibu pamoja, tushirikiane katika uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu. Karibuni na mbarikiwe sana. God bless you. God see you through.
Welcome to the greatest sporting show in the 254. That is the Sports Blast show on Faraja TV, where we'll be bringing you all the discussion and all updates according to sports and sports events.
And of course, we look forward to engaging and interacting with you on our various platforms,
which are on Faraja TV Kenya at Facebook, Faraja TV Media at YouTube, and our SMS line 0703 339959, and our various competitions and events of the sporting sphere.
Remember to catch us live each and every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m. whereby I'll be joined by 3 great co-hosts, your boy Big Man Kyuga,
and of course, Mickey Omchambuliv,
and Lefty Jizitisa Mgongoni.
One final lung-busting stride for Kipchoge.
So don't miss out on Sport Buzz.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Updates. My name is Vicky Kipto.
Yes, and I am Emma Bonareri. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media handles. You can find us Faraja TV Kenya, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us Faraja TV Media, Instagram Faraja_TV_Kenya, TikTok Faraja.tv.media, and our SMS line is 0703339959.
Remember to tell us where you're watching us from and your names. Yes. We are going to kick off with the newspaper reviews, and I'll start with the Daily Nation. And the story that is making headlines is Ruto's budget double speak. Whereas President Ruto has directed Treasury to implement budget cuts across both the national and county governments, his push for more borrowing beats the very purpose which the austerity measures were intended to achieve. You can find that story on page 4.
Yes. Also on the newspaper, we can see that also the president is making news between a rock and a hard place. Yes, and I'll quote, this is a statement made by the president. There are intelligent people in Kenya to differentiate what is good Yes, but these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy. Yes, so we can see that also today the youth are occupying everywhere to honor their fallen comrades and to put pressure on the government on matters governance. Yesterday, the new budget cycle kicked in, but KRA will use the old laws to collect revenue. This has put the head of state in a catch. You can find that on page 22. What will he do next? You can find that on page 6, 7, and 8 of the Standard newspaper. Yeah.
So there's going to be a protest today named Occupy everywhere, and some of the youth have expressed their disappointment over president interview on Sunday. Some of them have said that they were not satisfied on the way the president responded to Kenya's grievances.
Yes. Yes, and we can also see that the protests are in honor of the protesters who were killed during the previous week's protest. Yes, so they have said they will not stop until justice is served for the dead protesters.
And also the mother of the 12-year-old son, Kennedy Onyango, who died, confirmed that his son had died. And you should know that Kennedy Onyango was shot in protest in Rongai, and family wants the killer couples responsible to be held responsible. And also there was an autopsy that was taken to the body, and report says that he was killed by a single bullet shot.
We've also seen a lot of people have been killed, even in other counties. In Nakuru, we also saw that there was a family grieving, and I believe that is not only the only family that was grieving, because we heard that 3 people had lost their lives last week during the shootout that happened. And also we've seen that in Nairobi a lot of people have been shot and even others have been injured. We even saw the story of, I think it was Ken Okoth, yes, who was shot, and even the people thought that he was dead. Even his name appeared on the list of the dead protesters, but actually he was alive, but he has been paralyzed. Yes.
And also KNHCR removed a statement yesterday where they say 361 people were injured, and also they also said that 39 people were killed during protest. And also Nairobi has recorded the highest fatalities at 17. Nakuru, Mombasa, and Kajiado recorded 3 deaths.
Yes, and we can also see that during the interview with the president. Yes, let me quote the question and the answer that the president gave. So Linus Kaikai, a journalist, asked the president, Mr. President, here, the incident, Mr. President, this boy, 12-year-old, took 8 bullets, 8 bullets into the body of a 12-year-old. What would you tell the mother of that boy? And then the president's answer was, that boy is alive, right? Yes. So we can see we can see what the president was thinking, or what his mind is by what he speaks and what he said during the interview.
And yesterday the mother of Kennedy Onyango confirmed that his 12-year-old son died, and he was shot in protest during the protest in Rongai. And the family wants justice, and they say that the killer cop should be held responsible. And also we've talked about the autopsy that was undertaken, and report says that he was killed by a single bullet shot.
Yes. So we can also see that a lot of people are questioning the president for not knowing about the number
the boy.
The boy, and also because the boy was dead while the president was asking, he's alive, right? So he doesn't even know the situation that is currently happening in the country.
And also yesterday 2 more protesters succumbed to protest injuries that has raised the number to 39.
Yes.
And also, there is going to be protest today that has been named Occupy Everywhere. And church leaders have asked the government to show goodwill by releasing protesters. And also, Justice Kome said that peaceful demonstrations are a legal right, and also she condemned destructions of court property, and she said that police must produce protest in court. And she also urged the government to review policy of arrest.
Yes, we can also see that yesterday 17 people were charged in Eldoret, and also 2 people were charged in Kiambu. Yes. So we are waiting to also see that if other counties, the demonstrators will be presented in court.
In court.
Yes, and also the missing protesters who have been abducted, allegedly abducted
or arrested.
If they are going to
be presented in court. And also you should know that there was a CCTV that was presented by the DCI yesterday. They released a CCTV footage. And they're asking Kenyans to help them find, can I say criminals or thugs, the way they call them, who got in a shop and looted. So they are looking for those people who were engaged in looting, and they've asked the people to help them to find the suspects.
Yes, so we can see that is a big story, and it's making news all over and in all newspapers, as we can see. We can also see that during the interview, many voices of Ruto. Yes. Faced by a panel of seasoned editors, President William Ruto tried to empathize. At some point, he exhibited anger at another. He was calm and collected as he spoke to the nation. Yes, you can see that report on page 4 and page 5 of the Standard newspaper. So this shows the different voices, where while the president was being interviewed, at some point he was calm, he was collected, and then at some point it's like he was angry. Yes.
Also, going back to the story of austerity measures, Ruto's austerity double-speak, more debts on spending cuts. President has spoken about reducing expenditure as well as borrowing more loans to plug the budget hole. It says, despite earlier directing the Treasury to cut Kenya's total spending for the current financial year by 346 billion shilling, President William Ruto on Sunday claimed borrowing by the state will increase by 1 trillion following the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024. He said, we have dropped the finance bill. What does that mean? It means we have gone back almost 2 years. It means that this year we are going to borrow 1 trillion to be able to run government. It says, even after saying that borrowing will increase from the initial target of 597 billion to 1 trillion, the president still claimed that the rejected finance bill will have huge consequences of certain expenditure the government had lined up. And I quote, it means we will not confirm the JSS teachers, 46,000 of them. It means we cannot support the farmers with 2 billion shillings for us to make sure that farmers get a fair return of 50 shillings per kilo per milk. It means we cannot sort out the coffee debt. It means we cannot support the cherry farm. End of quote, said the president. These are his remarks. And the story is about President Ruto double speaking because during the interview, he said that the reason why Kenyans are being taxed is to prevent more borrowing. Yes. But during the interview, he said that we are going to borrow
1 trillion
to about 1 trillion, so that because now the bill has been rejected.
Yes.
And that has brought a lot of opinions. People say that on the other hand he's saying this, on the other hand he's saying that.
Yes, we can also see that on the Standard newspaper. The president claims He's claimed the country spends 1.1 trillion of taxes every year to pay debt.
And also,
So he said that that is factual, and we've also seen that if you study the history of the kind of borrowing that has happened in the country, I mean since way back, it's like the history is we always borrow 1 trillion,
1 trillion per year.
per every financial year. Yes.
And also during the interview, the president said that we are in a very difficult situation, and the taxes that are going to be collected from the people will only amount to 2.3 trillion, which is not enough, because 1 trillion is going to go to salaries, paying of salaries, 1.3 to pay the debt, and also he said because of that we are going to borrow to about 1 trillion, and he also said that we don't have the luxury to borrow, we've reached the limit, and also because of that money that goes to the county is going to be shelved so that we can live within our limits.
Yes. We can also see that the Gen Z to occupy everywhere today dismiss Ruto's position. Yes, they say the president struggled to explain his stand on governance. Yeah, that is what the Gen Z are saying. The youth also argued that people in power are too corrupt and should be fired.
Should be fired.
Yeah, so now it's not even about the finance bill. It's about the people in power who are too corrupt. Yes, there is no let up for disgruntled youthful protesters who have insisted on their push for a better economy and governance in the country. Some of the Gen Z protesters yesterday said their activity today will include a peaceful protest dubbed Occupy Everywhere, are well on course, even as they expressed disappointment over President William Ruto's interview on Sunday, saying he did not respond to Kenyans' grievances satisfactorily. The Gen Z, who have described themselves as leaderless, tribeless, partyless, but not ruderless, yesterday visited victims injured in last week's protest and lauded them for their sacrifice in representing the Kenyans. Yeah, so we can see that the Gen Zs, so yesterday they went around visiting people who are victims. Yeah, those who are hurt, those who are injured, those who are in hospitals, and even the families of those who are mourning.
And also, some of the youth said from the interview, the president is so focused on improving the economy, which cannot be achieved by overtaxing Kenyans, but by increasing production and encouraging businesses to be viable.
Yes, I think that is also true. You can also see that the anti-tax protesters fear for their lives as threats spread. Yes, so young people who have been taking part in the Anti-Finance Bill 2024 protests in Nakuru County have been receiving threats through messages and calls from unknown numbers in the past few days. 3 of them came out yesterday to share their predicament with the Standard, saying their lives were in danger. They claimed to have received threats through their social media accounts, claiming some of those threatening them were police in plain clothes and were moving around in unmarked vehicles. Yes, so we can see that even some young people who have been engaging in the protests, they have received threatening messages. So this is like maybe to reduce, is it to intimidate them so that maybe they cannot come out this week to protest?
But I still think they are going to show up, because some of them have pledged that even though some of their colleagues died, some are still in the hospital, nursing homes, they're still going to come out in large numbers, because they are saying they are ready to fight for this country,
Yeah.
what our parents couldn't do before.
Yes.
And one of the protesters yesterday said, and I quote, "Occupy CBD Tuesday. We call on everyone to come out and join the nationwide strike. Gen Z are granting all hardworking Kenyans a day off." A poster circulating on social media platforms stated, and also their protests come amidst an olive branch extended to them by President William Ruto, inviting them for a dialogue to have their issues addressed.
Yes.
Yes, and about the dialogue, a section of church leaders yesterday wants the youth to give dialogue a chance.
Yes, because we've seen that the youths, they are still continuing the protest despite the government giving room for dialogue.
For dialogue, and also
Yes.
they are saying that, you know, the president should start by showing a goodwill by releasing protesters, because there are many protesters who are in court. Some of them are still we don't know even where they are. We don't know if it's an arrest or a kidnap. So the church leaders are saying that the government should show a goodwill by first releasing protesters. And also, you know, if you want they're saying for a dialogue to be there, you have to show that you really want everything to go back to normal the way they were.
Yes, so as we said earlier, like the abductions, because we've also seen even in Nakuru, like the young people who have been threatened, who have been receiving threatening messages and threatening calls, and also some of them, they are saying they were visited by people. Yeah, because there's one who said that, he says 6 men in vehicle whose number plate had been concealed and 2 others on an unmarked motorcycle went to his residence. Yes, so they went there and they were threatening him like physically during the weekend. This happened during the weekend. Also another one claimed the same thing. 8 unidentified men whom I suspect are police officers came to look for me where I stay. That is another one. And then there is another victim who prefers to remain anonymous for security reasons. Yeah, she said she had been receiving threats on her social media accounts because of her continuous posts against the government. So it's like it's not even safe to post, because this is just because she has been posting. Yes. She also said that during the last week during the hyped protest, someone hiding behind a pseudo account sent her a message on Facebook Messenger threatening to rape her daughter, who is in pre-primary school, if she did not put a stop to her anti-government post on social media.
Wow.
Yes, and we can see that even she was saying some of the protesters, some have said that it's scary, and the current wave of abductions and disappearances of our fellows is scary. So it's like it's even intimidating. And this one can we say that this one will affect the numbers
of the people who will come out because of fear?
Yeah, because especially these people who have encountered threats. Yeah, those people who have been visited in their homes, and they've said they suspect that these people who visited them and these people who are threatening them are police.
Are police officers.
Yes. So we are just wondering who can send the police to people. Who has the power to send police to people's houses and threaten them in broad daylight? Yes.
Also, another story making headlines on the Daily Nation is about Haiti, and no police officer has been killed in Haiti, says Kome. IG refutes social media claims of attacks on 7 officers. You can find that story on pages 2. The National Police Service has refuted claims that 7 Kenyan police officers have been killed days after landing in the troubled Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince. Inspector General of Police Japheth Kome termed the claims circulating on social media as unfounded, false, unpatriotic, and malicious. He says And I quote, "We wish to clarify to the public that our officers left Kenya on June 24th, 2024, and were not only received warmly by the great people of Haiti on arrival, but are also all safe and ready to discharge their clear and specific mandate," end of quote. And also the police boss say the Kenyan officers have been working closely with their host, the Haitian National Police. He appealed to Kenya to support the police as they lift the national flag high, along with discharging the international policing mandate. Also, 1,000 Kenyan troops pledged by President William Ruto for the mission include teams from the Rapid Deployment Unit, Anti-Stock Theft Unit, General Service Unit, and Border Patrol Unit. Deputy Inspector General of Police Nur Gabo, heads of operation Samuel Chebet, JSU, and Senior Assistant Inspector General Geoffrey Otunge are leading the Kenya officers. So it's clear that the police officers who went to Haiti were not only police, but some of them are Rapid Deployment Unit, Anti-Stock Theft Unit, General Service, JSU, because I saw those complaint yesterday that the people or the police officers that we saw in Haiti are not police officers. Some of them were saying they were JCU, KDF, and of course the IG has confirmed that.
Yes. Also, we can see that on the second page of the Standard newspaper, there's a story making news here. Kwale hub of teen mothers, poverty, and school dropouts. Yes, so we can see that the number of teen pregnancies, teenage pregnancies, has greatly increased in Kwale, and also this leads to school dropouts and poverty, of course, because if somebody cannot continue with schooling, they cannot maybe continue, they cannot be able to get a proper opportunity to work. Yes. Teenage pregnancies in Kwale remain relatively high at 15% among girls aged 15 and 19. Yes, from 15 years old to 19. Teenagers. For a minor to access birth control, they must show up at a healthcare with their parent. Yes, we remember that law, as of 2022, the law demands that a minor has to be consented for by a parent or guardian. That is section 16(1) of the Children Act 2022.
And how are you going to convince your parent?
You can't even convince your parents. That is why we can even see that the rate of pregnancies are high because your parents themselves, they don't know you're sexually active.
So how are you going to convince them to take you to hospital so that you can take the the contraceptives? They can't. I don't think that is a good idea.
But that is what the law says. And let me quote the law. The section 16(1) of the Children Act 2022 reads as follows: every child shall have the right to the highest attainable standard of healthcare, provided that the provision of reproductive health services to children shall be subjected to the express consent of the parent or guardian. So there must be an adult. Okay, I think
a consent from the adult or a guardian.
Yeah, guardian or the parent. So I think it's because these things, if you are young, you're not supposed to be sexually active.
And obviously the parents are not going to give you a consent. They will look for other ways that you're not going to be sexually active.
Yes, exactly. I think it's only maybe in the Western countries where we see that children, they have conversation with their parents regarding this
issue.
This topic. So exactly. So we've seen that a number of 25.3%. Kwale had a secondary school enrollment rate of 25.3% compared to primary school, which is at 76.1%. That one happened in 2015. So this thing started way back in 2014. And as the years go by, we've seen that the number of the people enrolling in secondary school have reduced. especially the girl child. Yes, they have
Because of
reduced
teenage pregnancy.
Yeah, so most of them, they become pregnant after primary school. Yes, so they cannot continue
That's
with
so
studying.
sad.
They have to drop out.
And to another story on the Daily Nation, there is a scandal how Russian fertilizer donation vanished in high seas. Over 564 tons of fertilizers donated to Kenya by Russia last year disappeared in the high seas. New details exposing a possible theft of the agricultural input reveals. You can find that story on pages 7 on the Daily Nation. And in an expose by Auditor General Nancy Gathungu, Kenya received 33,835 tons of raw fertilizer from Russia from the 34,400 tons that Moscow offered Nairobi as part of a charm offensive to win the backing of African countries in its deadly battle against Ukraine. The raw fertilizer was expected to be used in tripling the production of ready-to-use manure for distribution to farmers across the country. So the Russian embassy in Kenya in August last year noted that the 34,400 tons that Moscow donated to Nairobi would produce 100,200 tons of the finished product after reformulation, but they don't know where the thousands tons of fertilizer went to. And according to Mrs. Githungu, the fertilizers did not arrive at the port of Mombasa. So it disappeared along the sea. And also yesterday, Mr. Linturi did not respond to requests for comments on the whereabouts of the missing fertilizer, which could be applied on between 15,000 and 30,000 acres of land at the rate of 50 kg acre to 100 kg acre. So the Auditor General also noted that the NCPB has not produced a breakdown of cost associated with the raw materials of fertilizer, including shipping cost, transportation cost from the port to the granulator, and handling cost. The cost will shed light on how much the NCPB spent to have a 50 kg bag of the finished products. So the fertilizer disappeared. Cargo disappeared in the high seas.
Yeah, and we can also see that there's been a lot of scandal around this agriculture ministry. So can we say maybe it's a failure on their part? Because this fertilizer, this is not the first time we are hearing an issue of fertilizer. There was the fake
fertilizer story.
Yes, and also even like the prices. There's been a lot of issue around this ministry. So I think it's just failure at the leadership.
And investigation should be taken very seriously, and those that are found accountable should be arraigned in court, because you know justice should prevail, and you know that is what the Gen Zs are fighting.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of issues which they just go and not even unnoticed, because people notice them, but they just go
disappear.
Yeah, they just disappear and they go unspoken for. Like there's nobody who comes out to be responsible for it, who takes maybe the downfall, who takes the responsibility that I was the one who was supposed to do this, but I didn't do it, and I take full accountability.
And also people go unpunished, and that is why they are not even scared to participate in corruption activities, because they know at the end of the day I will walk free. And I think those that are responsible should be held accountable, so that our country will move forward.
Yes, exactly, because we've seen this is not the first time we are hearing an issue in this ministry, especially in this ministry. And you can also see that it affects Kenyans a lot, because agriculture is like our main economic activity. Yes.
We don't have minerals like other countries in Africa. We depend largely in agriculture, and it's annoying, it's devastating to see that things like this happen in a ministry that we depend a lot.
Nobody is accountable. Yes, exactly. We can also see that in Makueni County, the Governor Mutula bows to pressure and drops contentious finance bill. Exactly. Yeah, following public outcry, Makueni Governor Mutula Kilonzo has been forced to withdraw the county's finance bill 2024-2025. Yes, Mutula dropped the bill on Sunday night following a lengthy meeting with stakeholders and traders at Green Park in Wote Township. Yes, we can also see that he dropped because and I quote, "We received reports that people were organizing demonstrations against some items like levies in the informal sector targeting water vendors, motura, and boiled eggs. So we have dropped this year's finance bill and continue with the existing one," he said. The county had introduced new charges that were not existing on businesses like roasting maize, hawking, traditional healing, seedling nurseries, private funeral homes, private houses, and water vending, among others. Yes, so we can see that a lot of levies had been introduced.
Untraditional. Untraditional.
Yeah, healing. Yes. So
nothing is for free because if you're going there, you're paying and you're being healed. So doctors.
Yes, you have to pay, and even the
Tax.
levies had been introduced.
Yeah.
But we can see some things here, like water vendors, motura, even motura sellers. Okay, motura, maybe we can give it because there is a butchery
associated with it.
Boiled eggs. The people who go around selling boiled eggs.
But there have been claims that they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you know they can't know because they are always there. Those county police, they see that you're making money, so they're not going to spare anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the people of Makueni County have not rejected their county their county finance bill, because I thought once the finance bill for Kenya, the national, was rejected.
The county's one will
I thought
also be automatically
yes,
rejected.
But
Yes.
I think it's still on.
Yeah. But we've seen that the people for the Makueni County, they rejected the finance bill. That's why they had to just continue with the previous year's one, because they were planning to demonstrate. So I think the governor saw this beforehand. Yeah, we've received reports that people were organizing demonstration. So he has rejected it also, like he has withdrawn, so that the demonstrations don't push through.
Yeah, because I think the reason why people of Makueni County are angry, it's because Governor Mutula targeted small businesses.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, these hustlers. Yes.
And also on the Daily Nation, the Matters Education today, questions abound over grade 9 preparedness. In 6 months enough time? Is 6 months enough time to put up infrastructure for grade 9 students? This is the question education stakeholders are asking, even as the government races against time. You can find that a story on the back page of Daily Nation. So stakeholders are concerned that primary schools don't have enough infrastructure to facilitate grade 8 and also grade 9 students. And that is where there was a claim last week during the meeting that was held in Mombasa County for a school principal who suggested that grade 9 students should move to high school, because in high school they have labs, they have libraries, they have home science, home science lab, computer labs, and most especially public schools, most primary public schools don't have these facilities, and they need these facilities to facilitate their learning. And that is why the stakeholders have come out clearly saying that primary schools are not able to accommodate grade 9 students.
Yes. Also on matters of the school affair, we also see that Mandago, the Uasin Gishu Senator Jackson Mandago in court over 1.1 billion education scam. Yes, the senator and his co-accused have been have denied charges of conspiring to steal. Yeah.
From Kenyans.
Yes,
Innocent
exactly.
Kenyans.
They allegedly conspired to steal the 1.1 billion from KCB Bank in Eldoret Uasin Gishu. Yes, but they have denied charges. Yeah, her withdrawal 1.1 billion is the money involved in the case. We have 202 witnesses which have been lined up to testify against the senator. 202 students traveled to Finland and paid 39,000 each for visa processing. 45 students traveled to Canada and paid 49,000 each for visa processing. Rono and Lele allegedly withdrew 66 million from the said Uasin Gishu Overseas Education Trust KCB Bank. Yes, so we can see that the proceedings will continue, and they were taken to court, and these were like the main things, so the money that was stolen is 1.1 billion, and then we have 202 witnesses.
And you should know that the story about the Uasin Gishu scholarship scam made the headlines, especially last year. There were protest students who were very angry, asking the county government where the money goes. Some of the parents came out and said that they sold their land so that their children could have a better future. But they have not seen anything happening. Their children have not gone to Finland. Some of them took loans from the bank, and they expected that the children will pay the loan back once they go to Finland and start working. It's a disappointment, and this happened when the governor of Uasin Gishu, the former governor who is now the senator, Mandago, was in office, and that is why Honorable Mandago has been arraigned to court, and I think it's good because those children want answers. Some of them said that at this time they would have graduated, but
the money,
they don't know where the money went.
Exactly.
And everyone seemed to, in the government, in the county government, everyone seemed to not know where the money is. So how would you explain that? How did the money disappeared and the money were paid by parents in the account?
And we can see that these are struggling parents who just wanted their children to have a better life. And we can also see that there was Uasin Gishu County Governor. He denied being the chairman of the Overseas Education Fund Trustee, which was allegedly formed in 2021 to oversee the Finland education program for more than 200 students. Yes. I think this is the same problem with the agriculture sector. There is nobody who is there to take accountability, to be accountable for what happened, to take responsibility. And also, I think these, as the proceedings are still in court, and as the governor is still in court, I think justice should be served. These were a lot of people, over 200
students.
This means 200 families.
And
the money was stolen.
And you know, the evidence is there because during the proceedings, the court proceedings last year, some of the parents presented bank statement showing that they paid money to a government account, which the county leaders denied, saying that everyone is saying that they don't know where the money is, and yet there was an account that the parents were told to pay money to.
I think with proper investigation, this case will be finalized, and the people who took the money, the people who
should be held responsible
from the people, from the county people. And I think also, even if maybe the county governor wasn't involved, he's still head of the county. How can something like that happen under his nose and he doesn't see, or maybe he's not aware of it? It's the same thing, I think, with the president. Everything happening in the country, he is supposed to be aware of it. And he's aware of whatever is happening within the country, because he's the head of state.
And with that said, I think we should be people who are have integrity, and also we should hold everything accountable.
Exactly. Yes. I also think this is what the Gen Zs are talking about when they talk about corruption. Leadership, and also leadership that is not accountable. They don't give account of if maybe something has been found out. It's just like
Everyone seems to doesn't know what is happening.
And I think a lot of politicians and a lot of leaders have gotten used to this system where they just know they'll get away with anything. They'll get away with murder, they'll get away with killings, they'll get away with stealing, they'll get away with a lot of things. And now that the young people have risen up, as we call them, the Gen Z, to fight against this kind of corrupt leadership and maybe this kind of the kind of system that is happening. The kind of governance that is happening. That is why even we can see some of the leaders have been intimidated, and we also saw some of them apologizing online, saying they are sorry for voting yes.
Nakuru East MP. And also there's a story, cooking oil saw prices set to go up, cost set to rise after Kenya imposed a 10% import duty on crude palm oil, a key raw material. You can find that story on page 6. Also, about sport, in the world of sport, Wanyonyi, the silent and assuming master, eyeing Olympics a glory for one who started out as a herds boy before taking up menial jobs and later venturing into athletics. 19-year-old Emmanuel Wanyonyi's story is one of determination to succeed in the face of adversity. You can find that story on page 35. And you should know that Olympics will be kicking off 3 weeks from now in Paris, and our athletes are
they are going to represent our country. Yes. I think also on accountability still, we've seen that in the Standard newspaper, page 6, we can see that also during the interview of the president and some of the journalists, we can see that Amnesty International, this is what they had to say. There were 136 extrajudicial executions in 2023. Most of the victims died while in police custody or had last been seen in police custody, but only 26 cases from previous years were subject to judicial proceedings. Yes, so we can also include this on the stories of maybe the kind of abductions that have been happening in the country, and also like the way we say that people are arrested, like they are on arrest, they're in police custody. Yes, so 100.
But they disappear for good.
Yeah, but the last time they were seen was
in a police custody.
Exactly, and nobody is giving account. That is why we are saying accountability. So we can say that.
And transparency.
Yeah. These are some of the questions that a lot of people are asking. Yes.
And I think that is why Chief Justice Koome yesterday condemned the excessive force by police, and also she said that police must produce protest in court, and also the policy of arrest should be reviewed.
Yes, exactly. That's why even Amnesty International further states that progress towards holding police officers accountable for extrajudicial killings has been non-existent, including in the case at least 37 bodies found in Yala River and other bodies found elsewhere in 2022. Yes, so we can see that a lot of things have been happening, and people get away with it, even the police themselves. Yes, so the police should be accountable for even the kind of bodies, the number of bodies that have been found in certain places. Yes.
And with that said, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about eating disorders. Today is on Tuesday and we are going to speak matters around food. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook, Faraja TV Kenya, YouTube, Faraja TV Media, TikTok, faraja.tv.media, Instagram, Faraja_TV_ Kenya, and also you can send us an SMS. Our SMS number is 0703339959. Also remember to tell us your name and where you're watching us from.
Yes, don't touch that dial.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Well, what is lifestyle? To me, lifestyle is the people, it's entertainment, it's food, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's music, and it's art. So how do you get to deal with these big topics that are affecting our society? Well, worry no more, because I, Sharon Gige, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m, I'll be bringing you amazing guests, and they'll be able to give us solutions on how to handle these big and disturbing topics at Faraja TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Yo, welcome guys to the biggest and most exciting show in the 254, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
Kwa majina ni John Mragori, ninaokuletea program ya uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu, na programu yetu ya kujia mnamo siku ya kila Jumapili saa 1:30 katika runinga yetu ya Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha. Karibu sana, karibu pamoja, tushirikiane katika uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu. Karibuni na mbarikiwe sana. God bless you. God see you through.
Welcome to the greatest sporting show in the 254. That is the Sports Blast show on Faraja TV, where we'll be bringing you all the discussion and all updates according to sports and sports events.
And of course, we look forward to engaging and interacting with you on our various platforms,
which are on Faraja TV Kenya at Facebook, Faraja TV Media at YouTube, and our SMS line 0703339959, and our various competitions and events of the sporting sphere.
Remember to catch us live each and every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m, whereby I'll be joined by 3 great co-hosts, your boy Big Man Kyuga,
and of course, Mickey Omchambuliv,
and Lefty Jizitisa Mgongoni.
One final lung-busting stride for Kipchoge.
So don't miss out on Sport Buzz.
Ujambo mpenzi mtazamaji, karibu ndani ya Fahamu Siasa na Wanasiasa. Hapa tutakuwa tunaangazia masuala ya katiba, uchumi, na teknolojia. Vile vile utaweza kufahamu na kujua kazi ya mjumbe wako, seneta wako, MCA wako kila siku ya Jumatatu na Alhamisi kuanzia mida ya saa 3 hadi saa 5, ukiletewa nami Peter Mohoro. Usikose kutazama Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Siku na mchana nakupa sifa, day and night, Lord.
Indeed, tunakupa sifa, sifa zote ni kwako ewe Mungu. This is Nuru ya Injili Gospel Show, ambapo tutakuwa tunawaletea amazing guests, amazing artists, inspired ministers of the word.
And we shall be having interesting conversations. It shall be hot, it shall be fire, it shall be rejuvenating right here at Nuru ya Injili. Of course, hii si ya kukosa. Kutakuwa na mixes kali, new song, new bangers, na hii mtazamaji wetu utapenda. Kutakuwa na a lot of fun yenye wewe mwenyewe huwezi miss.
I will be your host, Jack Favor.
And I, your co-host, Caroline Jerry, alongside DJ Tish.
Every Sunday
from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Nuru ya Injili, only at Faraja TV.
What's happening?
It's showtime!
Oh, okay, let's go. This is
Gospel Link Up.
kuanzia saa 4 mpaka saa 7 kila Jumapili at Faraja TV with me, The Ramses, alongside
DJ XDs.
Alright, hii ni kosa kukosa wewe.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Welcome back, viewers. Yes, you know, it's Tuesday and we got you. Yeah, we are talking about overeating. Yes, or binge eating disorder. Yes. Remember, you can catch us on our social media handles. Yes, our SMS line is 0703339959. You can text us, you can tell us where you're watching us from, what segment of the show you loved, and tell us if you've struggled with overeating. Have you struggled with overeating? Have you ever heard about overeating? Have you had a friend or a relative who has struggled with overeating? Yes. Remember also our social media handles, Facebook, Faraja TV Kenya, YouTube Faraja TV Media, TikTok faraja.tv.media, Instagram Faraja_TV_Kenya. And as we said earlier, our SMS line is 0703339959. Yes.
And on our Did You Know segment, our Did You Know today is what is binge eating or overeating, and it's a disorder which involves feeling like you're not able to stop eating. It's a disorder that you feel like you're not able to stop eating.
Yes. So if you are not able to stop
Eating.
so it's like you just eat continuously.
Yeah, you cannot refrain yourself from eating. You eat even if you feel like you're full. You're already full, but you continue eating. Yeah, and people will shame you. People will make you feel bad, but they don't know that it's a disorder.
Yeah.
It's a disorder that you can't stop yourself from eating.
Yes. We can also say that overeating or binge eating disorder, it's eating more than you should. Yeah.
Eating large amounts of food.
Yeah, like more than you should. So maybe you've already eaten and you're okay. You feel like you're satisfied.
You're full.
Yes. And then you just
continue.
Can't control
you can't
yourself.
stop.
You just continue eating. Yeah. And I think this is relatable, especially, I don't know about me, when it comes to my favorite food, even when I'm satisfied sometimes, I'm always like, I want to overdo. I want to continue eating.
But in normal circumstances, you do it once in a while.
Yeah.
But this is a condition that you do it often. Every day. They say that it's an episode, and that you just can't keep yourself from eating. You eating. You can't control your eating habits, even if you're around people, and that is why you'll find people who have this disorder like eating when they're alone, because they already know their condition. They can't control their eating habits. And you know, most of the time when you eat a lot, more than you should, especially around people, people will start talking about you. People will look at you in a weird way, like you're not full yet.
When you shibi.
Oh, shibi. That is why, because especially around people, I think it's so easy for you to control yourself. Even if you feel like you want to continue eating and there are people there, most of the time you will control your eating and you'll stop eating. But in this situation, you are unable, even if you're around people, maybe you have guests in your house, you just can't stop eating. You eat continuously. And that is why we're saying it's a condition, because you cannot control it.
Yes. Can we also say that what's the difference between binge eating disorder and that is overeating, viewers, and also the difference between that and eating, like, you know, those people who eat small portions, like they just eat small portions, but they'll be eating every time, but it's just small portions. Like, it's like kids. Sometimes you have kids where, like, maybe this kid, they can only eat small portions. After some few minutes, they're hungry. They come again, they eat, and then they go. They come again, they bite something, they go. They come again, they bite something, they go. So what's the difference?
I think binge eating is eating a large amount of food at a go.
So it's large portions.
It's large portions.
Continuously.
And even after, when you're already full, you continue eating. You don't stop it until maybe you're very full. That is when now you stop. And at some point, people will eat a lot of food or large amount of food until they start vomiting. And even when they are vomiting, after they are finished vomiting, they go back to eating again. And that is why we are saying it's a condition that you cannot control it. But the difference, you've said the difference between binge eating, I've said it's eating large amount of food at a go and small amount of food. The difference is you're eating small amount of food, but when your stomach is full, you don't continue eating. At this point, you can control it. Yes, after a while, again, you're feeling angry and you will eat again. When you feel your stomach is full, you stop eating, and then you can control your eating habits at this point. But when you're saying binge, you cannot control it.
Okay. Yes. So how much should you eat? Since we are talking about overeating, and we've also seen, like, even in our previous topic last week on Tuesday, we were talking about dieting. And we had even some people who eat less than they should. So what is the like maybe the normal amount or the healthy amount of food that you should have?
Should eat. I think, according to me, you should stop eating when you're full. When you feel you're full, you're satisfied, you should stop eating. But there are other people who say that you should stop eating when the food is finished. You've you finished the food. And I think this is common, especially in our African homes, where you're told you're not supposed to waste food. So you feel like
food in your plate.
You yourself, you're already full, but you just can't waste food. And that is why you continue eating, even though you feel you're full. I think according to me, you should stop eating the time you just feel you're full. Your stomach is full.
Exactly. And I think this is something that I usually do at home. I always serve the amount of food that I can see. This one I can finish. This one I'm okay with it. I can finish this food. And if I'll be hungry, if I want to be satisfied or something, I can go back and serve myself
more food.
It's better than putting a lot of food on your plate and then you won't be able to finish. And especially maybe even when you visit people. I think also the pressure comes when you visit people.
And also, when you eat a lot of food, you will feel uncomfortable. You'll be very uncomfortable because your stomach is full. You eat a lot of food. Your stomach cannot accommodate the large amount of food that you put in it. And I think that is why it's good when we have control and we eat enough.
Exactly. Yes, and I also think we should eat as much as it's needed, like as much as is necessary to our bodies. Because sometimes we eat a lot of things and maybe you're overeating and you're overeating a lot of unhealthy things. Maybe you're just having a lot of starch. So you're just overeating a lot of things that are unnecessary. There are some things that when you eat even in large quantities, it's helpful to the body, like vegetables, things like those, or even fruits. That one is something that is helpful to your body. So even if you do it a lot, it's a good habit.
And also during my research, I realized last week we discussed about dieting, and in my research I found out that most people who are on a diet go through binge eating, because once they decide that I want to take a break, I don't want to be on a diet, they start eating large amount of food because they had missed eating and all that. And at some point, they may not realize that they are going through a condition. Then they feel that, I'm compensating the times that I wasn't eating, I was in a diet, But little did they know that they are going through a condition called binge eating or overeating.
Yes. Can you say maybe overeating, sometimes it can also be something like maybe food addiction? Can we call it maybe food addiction? It's like you just want to eat.
You are a foodie person.
Yeah, you can't control yourself.
Anytime.
And also when you see food, you just want to finish everything until the sufuria is empty and your plate is empty also. So you want to finish everything.
And most of the people who have this disorder or this condition, you'll find that most of their money go to food. If they have money, they will spend it on food alone, not on other things, because to them food is very important, and food gives them the satisfaction that they want. It makes them happy, and that is why they are not ashamed of spending the little money they have on food.
Yes, I also saw somewhere like we can call it food addiction, because there are some people when they eat a lot, they just feel, the way you've said, happy. It's like it's something satisfying them, and that is why they even use most of their money on food. it's also because even like maybe their hormones and also, you know, when you are doing something that makes you happy, dopamine is usually released. So it's like the more they eat, the more dopamine is released.
Wow.
So it becomes a habit and then eventually an addiction. Yeah, so that is why they continue. And also this, later on, it leads to obesity. Yes, so let's also talk about binge eating or overeating and obesity. Yes, because most people who have this kind of eating habits, we've also seen, and who spend a lot of money on their food, we've also seen their weight.
They're overweight.
Yeah, they're always overweight, and it can also later on lead to obesity. Yeah. Can we say that overeating is something that maybe comes at a certain age in life, or maybe at a certain stage? Because we don't see it, especially in children, not unless maybe the adults living with the children have bad eating habits, because children always develop something that they always see around them.
Yeah.
But normally it's not common among children. I think overeating starts when maybe you are in high school, teenagehood.
Or during adolescence.
Yeah, exactly, adolescence, because we can even see the change in hormones, the change in the body, and also eating. And I can see personally, my eating habits changed when I went to boarding school.
You started eating a lot.
Yeah, I started eating a lot when I went to boarding, and I never like. I wasn't even a foodie person. I never even liked eating, and I have been even admitted to hospital because of eating. Like I wasn't eating enough food. So when I went to boarding school,
or is it because maybe the food was limited?
Exactly.
And so also you couldn't access food or get food anytime you wanted. Yeah.
So, and also I think even the people around me, like, you know, you're in boarding school, everyone is rushing for the food.
Your friends.
Yeah. Even your schoolmates, everyone is always heading towards. That's why we have incidents like maybe people scrambling for food. Yeah, because of the environment itself.
Yeah.
I think even it's something that got in me. And after we closed school and I went back home, I was like, I'm really having bad
your eating habits have changed.
Yeah, and I'm eating a lot of food, like a lot, extremely a lot.
And also during visiting, people would consumed a lot of food, large amount of food, because you know they knew, especially in schools, that they didn't allow food
to remain
remain after your parents have gone. So you will force yourself to
finish everything,
to eat everything. So that and most of the time after eating, you will really feel uncomfortable and sometimes even vomit.
Yeah, it's true.
But I wouldn't say that is a condition, because it's something that you will do it once in a while, and then after that you go back to your normal routine. But in binge, in this eating condition or overeating, you cannot restrain yourself from eating. You just eat in any environment that you are, whether conducive or not. You'll just eat, eat and eat and eat. And what are some of the symptoms that will show that you have binge eating disorder?
So what are some of the symptoms? Is it like maybe if you check maybe the difference between time that you've eaten? Because normally we all know that the amount of meals you're supposed to have in a day. Maybe you're supposed to have 3 or maybe 4 if you
or maybe you're supposed to let's say you take 2 loaves of bread
and now you finish the whole but I think you can even check the meals, the amount of meals that you have, because normally you can measure what you eat, especially if you are alone. If you always have maybe 1 glass when you cook, you're cooking 1 glass of rice, or maybe half a kg of rice, and then maybe you increase. Or sometimes because sometimes you always know when you're hungry, like you are extremely hungry. You're like, hey, I've never been able to finish this amount of rice, but today I finished all of it.
Because you are hungry. One of the symptoms is feeling that you don't have control over your eating habit. For example, you can't stop once you start. You just continue eating, and we've talked about that.
Yeah.
You don't control your eating habits. You eat continuously. You don't know when to stop.
Yeah. I think so too. Because sometimes you always eat. I think, I don't know if it was overeating or what, because even in high school, especially during the last meal, the supper, yeah, we could eat. When you finish eating, you want to go for more, you go for addition, you eat again.
Because
and then
you know
go
you're
for
going to
addition.
press.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even in class, you'll go with the food to class, and then you'll still continue
eating
in class.
eating.
And then after that, you'll pass by the canteen and then buy something, and then you still continue eating.
And also another symptom is often eating much larger than usual amounts of food in a specific amount of time, such as over a 2-hour period.
Yes, that's why I say
over 2.
Yeah.
After 2 hours, you've
eaten
a lot of food.
Yes, I think you can also check yourself. If maybe you've seen, hey, this amount of time has passed and I've taken this amount of food. Yeah, and it's not healthy.
Also, eating even when you're full or not hungry. We've spoken about this.
Yeah.
You're already full, but you have the
want-
urge to continue eating.
Yes.
Yeah, and also eating very fast during eating. You eat very fast.
Yeah.
Because you know, I don't know what's happening, but you just feel like you want to put food in your mouth and
quickly
straight to your
and
stomach.
It's not like somebody is going to take away your food.
Your food.
or
It's
anything.
all yours, but you just
Yeah.
feel like, let me finish before somebody borrow my food.
Yes, and I think that is also one of the bad eating habits, like eating food fast, like you're eating it a lot and hurriedly. Yes, it's also a bad eating habit, and also eating food like slowly. Yeah, there's a normal amount of like the way you're supposed to eat food. Yes, so if you're eating it hurriedly, sometimes people might even think you're a glutton. You're a glutton. Yeah,
And
especially in public.
And also often eating alone or in secret, because you already know that you can't control your eating habits, and you decide that, you know what, I'm not comfortable eating where there are people, and that is why you decide to start eating alone or in secret.
Yes, I think it's also because of the eating habits.
Eating habits.
Yeah, because even people might ask you, hey, kwani ushamaliza food yako?
Haraka aje.
Hey, people can make you feel things.
Yeah, but from today henceforth, you should treat people with remorse, because we've learned that it's a condition, it's not their choice. And also, and those people who go through binge disorder, they often feel depressed, disgusted, ashamed, guilty or upset about their eating. Especially this happens after they've already eaten, and then they have realized, wow, is this me?
Yes, I think so too.
It's not something that they want it. It's not something that they are happy about it or they are proud about it. And that is why we said it's something that you cannot control, because if you are able to, if it's something that you can control it, then
you wouldn't be
ashamed or
even
depressed about it.
Yes. I also think that like these eating habits, they always lead to obesity, because of even like maybe the way you said, like people, like the person who overeats or something, maybe they are depressed or something, so they can't even, they don't have the strength to do physical exercise, to be involved in physical activities where they can lose weight. Because we've also seen a lot of, there are those skinny people who eat a lot, but they never gain weight. They are always skinny and we are always wondering, hey,
where's the food going? Or maybe they eat a lot of carbohydrates, less proteins, because you know proteins are the building, bodybuilding food.
Yes, and also the carbohydrates, they are just
so they should balance it. And also, we want to know the difference between bulimia nervosa. It's also an eating condition between bulimia nervosa and overeating or binge eating. And the difference is in bulimia nervosa, you eat a lot of food, you overeat. But when you feel uncomfortable or when already you've overeaten, you go and you induce vomit. You force yourself to vomit because now you don't you want to get rid of extra calories. And also this happens especially people who are modeling, because they don't want to add weight and they realize it's like I've eaten a lot, and that is why they induce vomiting. So it's a condition, because every time they eat and they feel like they've eaten a lot or they've eaten large amount of food, they force themselves to vomit. But in this case, people who have this condition, the binge condition, they don't force themselves to vomit. I think they are comfortable. Yes, they are feeling uncomfortable, but at some point they don't care about their weight, you know. They don't care, and I think that is the difference between bulimia and binge eating.
It's true, it's true. So can we say that maybe there are some, what are the causes? What are the causes of binge eating or overeating amongst people? Yeah, I can see there's one cause here, stress. Yeah, when somebody is stressed, the article says when you are stressed, even this was a doctor's opinion, when you're stressed, your body releases a lot of hormones. When you're stressed, your body releases a large amount of hormone called cortisol. Cortisol can make you hungry. Yes, so you can find yourself that you get
stress.
Extreme hunger when you're stressed or anxious. Yes. So this is an emotional response. Yeah, because when the hormone is released, you become hungry. And that is why you always hear people saying, I'm stress eating, I'm stress eating. It's because they are stressed.
You want to release stress
so
by
they just
eating.
Yes, and without knowing it sometime, maybe you've been stressed for a long time and you've been stress eating for a long time. So maybe you can develop the habit without even knowing it. And we've seen that in the human body, a habit develops after 21 days. Yes, so it takes some few weeks, and then you find you are just addicted. Like it has become part of you. Yeah, so stress eating, like you just start eating without even
without knowing.
Yeah.
And also another cause of binge eating is family history. You're much more likely to have an eating disorder if your parents or siblings have or had an eating disorder. This may point to genes passed down in your family that increase the risk of having an eating disorder.
Yes.
So it may be passed from one generation to another.
Yes, and also we've seen that not even the passing, like if you are a younger person and you saw somebody overeating and maybe it was your parent or maybe your older sibling, you can develop the same habit thinking it's normal.
It's normal.
You can just think, this is what we do at home. We always eat
large amount of food, and then after 2 hours we eat again.
This is what we do in our house. But maybe it's just a bad eating habit that you've developed. Yes, and also we can see another cause is dieting. Yes, your diet. Sometimes there's a problem with your diet and that is why you're overeating. Maybe you are taking a lot of carbs and also a lot of fast foods. You will find yourself, you will get hungry sooner than maybe taking a lot of vegetables and a lot of maybe different kinds of meals, fruits, veggies, and all this kind of healthy stuff like whole grains, beans. You won't get hungry
very fast.
Yeah. And I think this is what schools employed, because we always used to take beans, githeri, during lunchtime. Yeah.
And most of the school diet is balanced. You'll find carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and all that.
Yeah. That is why I think even while we were in school, a lot of we couldn't get sick, even if there are a lot of germs, a lot of things but you couldn't easily feel sick. So we can also see one of the causes your dieting. If you're eating a lot of carbs, a lot of fast foods, you know, carbohydrates, they give you energy. They are broken down very quickly.
And they have sugar.
Yeah. So you're most likely to get hungry. Yeah. Things like white bread. That is why when you take a lot of bread, you'll feel you're okay for some few minutes. And then after maybe 30 minutes, you're hungry. Yeah.
And also one of the cause of binge eating is mental health conditions. Many people who have binge eating disorder feel negatively about themselves and their skills and accomplishments. Triggers for binging can include stress, poor body self-image in certain foods. Certain situations also can be triggers. For example, being at a party, having downtime, or driving in your car. So mental health conditions is one of the major contributors of having a binge condition, because we've said that many people who are stressed, they overeat so that they can relieve their stress. So to them, overeating is a stress reliever.
Exactly. Yes, we've also seen there are a lot of causes, but I think with that we can also say things like maybe some diseases like diabetes. There are some people with diabetes who tend to eat a lot, yes, and it's because of the disease. And also there is premenstrual syndrome, PMS, yes, because the body undergoes some changes, hormonal changes. So sometimes when some ladies are maybe they are almost going on their period, or maybe after, you can find them they are eating a lot. Yeah, and I think it comes with the cravings, because even we can see even in pregnancies, a lot of people may eat a lot because of cravings and different hormonal changes of the body. Yes, we can also see there are some ways. What are the ways to stop binge eating, or what is the medication to binge eating, or prevention, or things like those?
Yeah, one of them is model body acceptance, where regardless of body shape or size, make it clear that dieting or restricting food is not healthy unless there is a diagnosed food allergy.
Yes.
Yeah. So you should accept your body. You should accept yourself the way you are, because most of the time you realize maybe you started binge eating because you are slim, and people would body shame you, and you start overeating so that you can add weight, and that may be a problem. You may develop a habit that you may not be able to stop or control in future. So you should accept the way you are.
Yes. As we said earlier, you can also continue interacting with us. Our SMS line is on the screen. Yes. I can see somebody texted here. You said you are Joy. Joy from Free Area. You said hi to you too. Yes. So you can continue interacting with us. Remember, we were talking about binge eating. Yeah. If you've struggled with it, you can seek help, and also you can educate yourself. Nowadays, there are a lot of things you can learn from the internet. Exactly. Yeah. We are not short of words, but we are short of time.
But also, before we go, it's important to know that it's a condition. And most of the time we realize in our societies we have people who have this condition, so we should handle them with care. We should have remorse, because now we've known it's a condition. They cannot control the way they are eating, so we shouldn't make them feel uncomfortable. We shouldn't shame them. We should help them to get out of that situation that they are in. And now we are going, but remember, you can catch us every Monday to Friday from 7:30 to 9. And tomorrow we are going to talk about relationship.
Yes.
And our topic tomorrow will be about how to deal with heartbreak.
Yes, so watch out for that. Don't touch that dial. Continue watching Faraja TV. We have a great program lined up for you. Yes.
Have a good day.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Well, what is lifestyle? To me, lifestyle is the people, it's entertainment, it's food, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's music, and it's art. So how do you get to deal with these big topics that are affecting our society? Well, worry no more, because I, Sharon Gige, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m, I'll be bringing you a